talked a lot about the last couple of months, and that is our new VersaFlex decorating system. And so if you've tuned in before, today is going to be a little bit of a refresher. Tomorrow we're going to start moving into some new territory, and I've tried to pull some projects today that are a little bit different. So hopefully that'll be exciting for you. So just kind of a reminder, we are Sawgrass. We are a company that's over 35 years old, and we have always been a sublimation company. So we do manufacture ink here in our facilities in Charleston, South Carolina. We actually do it right on the other side of this wall. And our inks are made from raw. So we do start with the raw materials, go all the way through that ink process. You do know our printers are SG500 and our SG1000. Now, if you know sublimation, you know there are a couple of limitations as far as what you can sublimate onto. So when we talk about our hard surfaces, they have to have a poly coating on them. And when we talk about our fabrics, we are looking at polyester fabric. We really always recommended you stay at least 80% polyester to get the best possible results. And so that's kind of where things stopped. Now we know you really, really want to use other fabrics, specifically cotton and other fabrics as well. And then you also want to be able to use those uncoated woods. So we actually have our new decorating system. It is called VersaFlex. It is basically an ink. Well, it is an ink. And it is going to go off of our existing printers. So the SG500 and the SG1000, it is a new ink set. There is a new paper as well, our VersaFlex light paper. Now the beauty of this system is that you can do both. So if I put in my sublimation transfer paper like my Truepix, I can do my traditional sublimation as I've always done it. But by putting in that VersaFlex light paper, now I can go on to cotton fabrics, 15 at least other fabrics, and then uncoated products like wood. And also unglazed ceramics too. So we're really widening what you can do, and you can do all of it with one printer. So two things right off the bat that I want to make sure you understand. First of all, this ink is completely new. It is a new formula, and it is what we're calling CMYE. So what would traditionally be in the black channel of the printer is going to be our expander. The expander is laid down when you are going on to the VersaFlex light paper, so it's not used at all in your traditional sublimation, and you can still do your traditional sublimation. Now, you're probably saying, but Rhonda, there's no black cartridge, and there isn't, but you still produce black with the C, M, and the Y. It's the way you've actually always done it. The black channel just kind of, or the black cartridge added a little extra detail to it, but most of the black color comes from the C, the M, and the Y. We've reformulated things. We've done some stuff with our software and with our firmware to make sure that you're getting that black from the CM and the Y channels. And honestly, we've done side-by-side tests as we've gone to trade shows, and as we've done that, people cannot see the difference or actually prefer the VersaFlex slightly. So SubliJet is still a wonderful option if you are doing just traditional sublimation, but if you do want to do sublimation and then be able to go on to products like cotton and felt and suede and fabric blends and all those other things, plus that uncoated wood, VersaFlex is a great solution for you. Now, here's where the second point comes in. For the VersaFlex solution, you have to have a new printer. You cannot convert an SG500 or an SG1000 that has SubliJet or Chromoblast ink in it to be a VersaFlex printer. Now, the why is quite simple. There's no way to get all of the ink out of the channel, and especially when we're talking about that expander and that black ink are very, very different. So you're never going to get a perfect result if you do switch. Now, Could you try to switch? No, you cannot try to switch. It will not work. I promise you. You're going to be unable to do that. So save up, get that extra printer to do the VersaFlex, but it is definitely something worth trying, and we're going to talk about some of those possibilities today, and I have some great projects for you. Now, Rhodes, I know do you have any questions for me yet?
No questions, just a statement. Ivy said you look very cute in pink today.
Thank you, Ivy. Yeah, so Versaflex has been a game changer for us. And I love that Ivy joined us because she was actually here the very first day that we tested Versaflex. And it's really cool because I get to be the voice of the customer on a lot of stuff. And so I actually was in the room the first day it came out of the lab, and we got to play with it. So it was really great. So here are my favorite things about Versaflex so far. First of all, we get to make our own shirts. So we get to make our own shirts for everything. Sorry, I messed with my microphone there. I get to make our own shirts for anything we do. So those cotton t-shirts have been just phenomenal. And so this actually was one of my shirts from last week. I got the opportunity to travel to Berlin, to FESPA, and help roll out Versaflex to our dealers and our friends in Europe. So that was a lot of fun. But we get to make our own shirts for everything. The other thing that we have done quite a bit is these fun little shopping sprees, whether it be to a home decor store, whether it be to a craft store, or even to a dollar store. There are no limits now. Pretty much everything is in play. Now, you're gonna ask me, what's not in play? What can we not do? And I'm gonna put it into 3 categories. So the first category we're going to talk about is delicate fabrics. So things like silk that cannot take high heat, you're still not going to be able to use. The second is, this is for non-porous, or nope, sorry, opposite, porous products. So this is for things that can kind of absorb it a little bit more. So softwoods work better than hardwoods. Still can't go to the dollar store and pick up a ceramic mug. Your best bet there is still going to be your coated mugs for sublimation. But things that are too smooth are not going to work. Like I said, softwoods work better than hardwoods. And then, of course, the final thing being, we are still looking at lights, whites, and brights. Now, you are going to see, I think, I'm not going to go very dark on fabric today. I'm going to go with a gray. But you can go a little darker than you previously did with colored polyester, and that's because it doesn't absorb the background color as much, or not seeing the color through as much as you did with sublimation onto polyester fabric. So we can go a little bit darker. Rhodes, if you could like sneak over, could you throw me my blue shirt if you want to do a little matrix over there and sneak around for me? So I actually was able to do a blue shirt. And so, well, if it was over there, I would have just grabbed it. You can just toss it. All right, so you can see this is a shirt I did just a little bit ago with another group. So as you can see, this is a pretty bright blue, and that color looks great on that, even with that kind of yellow orangey color. All right. Let's jump in and do a project. Okay, so this, well, I guess I should preface this. If you have ever talked to me, I have told you that my favorite thing to do with sublimation is gifts. And I've talked a lot about gifts that I made for teachers over the years. So I'm actually going to pull up a file that I used for a mug for a teacher a few years ago, because I think it's going to work really great for this. All right, so I have been pressing lots of cotton t-shirts. I'm gonna go a little bit out of that today, and we're actually gonna do a blend, because I don't think we talk about that enough. I mean, whether we were talking about sublimation onto polyester or whether we were talking about chromoblast onto cotton, we were looking at 100%. So we were looking for 100% cotton with the chromoblast. We were looking for 100% polyester with the sublegette. We don't have to stay there anymore. So blends work. 50/50s work. I'm actually going to use a tri-blend for this, so I'll read you the actual fabric in just a minute as we get there. So I'm going to go ahead and get this set up. One of the changes you've seen in our software recently is that we've moved that landscape button up to the top. I love that because it makes life a lot easier. I'm going to go ahead and crop to the image area. And then I'm going to center that on my page, hopefully. I'm going to fit that, and then we will go ahead and center it. All right. Now, since we're doing VersaFlex, let's talk a little bit about how the system changes. As far as the normal, the first thing you're going to see is there's a new ink set. It does say VersaFlex for the ink. We have chosen our VersaFlex ink. You are noticing that there is a button for light colors. So one of the things with this system is there is that expander. The expander, when we're using the VersaFlex light paper, is going to get laid down anywhere there's ink. So we have found that some of the lighter colors, it didn't really pick it up and go, hey, I need expander, I'm a color. So because of that, we added this button. It is the default. Something like this, kind of on that wall or that edge. May not need it for the yellow, but I'm going to be safe. It doesn't hurt to have it on, so I'm going to do that. It is cotton fabric. This is letter size paper in the printer, so everything's set and ready to go. I am going to go on over to my color management and tell it I want to go vivid. So I do want to put more emphasis on the appearance of the colors, make them look nice and good. And we are set and ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and hit print and walk over to my press. All right. So a few things as I'm getting set up. First of all, this does need to go on wet. So because of that expander, we do want that ink to go on wet. You do have about 10 minutes. So you are able, if you wanted to do a few at a time, you could. I'm going to go ahead and tell you this is 50% polyester, 25% rayon, and I think the rest, yep, 25% cotton. All right, so here's the way I do this. I center my shirt on the middle of the press, get my collar right where I can see the collar. Now I am going to do a pre-press. This pre-press is going to be very important. And the main reason this is important is we need to remove any moisture from that shirt, because what happens is that expander is water-based and we don't want any moisture in the shirt impacting how that gets laid down. Okay, so here's my design. It's all ready to go. It is wet. As you can see, it's a lot shinier than you're probably used to. So we're gonna go ahead and lay this. Now, what I call my method, because one of the questions I get is, well, how can you do this if it goes on wet? Because you can't reposition it. So I call it the hover and drop. So I have, you will see my hand on the bottom of the press. It's not too hot. I can handle that. I'm going to position it exactly where I want it, and then I'm going to just drop it down. Will you maybe mess up the first one? Yeah, I think we all did. But just make sure you have some extra fabric on hand that you can kind of test on so you're not using a shirt. I'm going to go ahead and drop that. Now this is 375 for 30 seconds. Now you're noticing my pressure is pretty strong. That is going to be very important for this. So we do want a rather heavy pressure on this. It is going to be necessary. Normally, if someone's having an issue, typically that's what it is is that pressure just needs to be a little bit higher. All right. It's supposed to be back. My press is stuck, so this may not work. Why is it doing that? All right, I got it for there. Okay, just took Rhodes. Sorry, Rhodes. All right, we're gonna peel that off. Now, even with it being on there a little bit long, no issues, peeling right off. Okay, so I'm really excited, but we're gonna do another step. Now, I was saying this earlier, we haven't really talked about this a lot in our educational material. It's something we're gonna add, something that I really learned a lot about last week in Berlin, and that's going to be doing a finishing press. Now this is gonna be about 5 to 10 seconds. I'm just gonna pull this over. I'm not even gonna put the full pressure on it. I'm just gonna drop that down for about 5 seconds. Now, one thing that this does is it not only improves the appearance, but I've been told it improves the washability. So we do want to do that little bit of a finish press. Made you wait a second to see my finished results. All right. And there's my t-shirt. Now you did see it is a hot peel. You do need to get it off immediately. You did see that there's a little bit of a pull on it, but if you're getting too hard of a pull, you probably need to work and increase that pressure just a little bit. But there's my shirt. All right. So Rhodes, do we have any questions coming in?
No, but Lori has said something similar to what you told me the other day. There isn't a wood cutout in any Dollar Tree within 20-mile radius of my house. She's small.
Yeah, I actually, this morning, I was like, do I have an excuse to run to the dollar store and buy some extra stuff today? But I did not. I had stuff that would work, so we didn't do that today. But I do want to point out again, this is a blend. If you've ever tried to do a blend or even a 50-50 with sublimation, you know you're not going to get this great of a result. So it looks really, really great. You also see kind of that heather coming through. One of the other things I like to point out is that any of these areas that are between sections, it's the shirt. There's nothing there. If you've ever used a chromoblast, you know that you would still have kind of that filmy there. You don't. It is self-weeding. Because of that expander, the only areas that are transferring are the areas with ink. All right. Okay. So this next one, I am actually going to go on to what we're calling suede. Let me grab it actually to show you what I'm going to do. So this is from a craft store. I did say that there are some things that don't work. I did leave one out, and that is leather. Leather technically has a coating on it, so that's going to move that into the realm of what you cannot do. But the back side of this that we picked up at a craft store is what we're calling suede, and it works phenomenally. So I got a cute little project we're going to do. So we are actually, I got so excited I switched my order. We're actually going to go into the design tool for this one. All right, so I'm going to go into the design tool. I'm going to use one of our blank sheets. This is actually one of those projects that would be a great use of the blank sheet. And that is simply because you could make a design like this and easily sell it to other people. So not VersaFlex, but you could do it for true sublimation, and this would go on to a variety of things that would work great for that. So I'm going to go ahead and grab an 8.5 by 11 sheet. And I'm going to grab some elements that we have. So I'm going to go into elements. I'm going to go into that graphic library. And it's actually going to be one of my top categories. It's going to be my animals. And I'm going to scroll down to what I want to use today. And I'm going to grab a few things. Okay, so I need a pig. I need what I am calling a chicken. Grab him. I'm going to grab a sheep, or again, what I think is a sheep, or a lamb. I'll grab a sheep, and then one more, we're going to grab a cow. All right. Okay. I'm just going to highlight all of these and make them smaller to begin with. And we'll go from there. Cow's going to go on the bottom. And I'm going to have to resize them, of course. Sheep's going to go next. Chicken's going to go to the top. And then I'm going to do my pig. And I'm going to size them so they're a little closer to the normal of what the relationship would be. I'm actually going to flip my pig, put him underneath the chicken. I'm going to take my lamb, make him a little bit smaller. Nope, keep him a little bit bigger than the piggy. Put him there, make the piggy a little bit smaller. Now my chicken's too big. Put him here. And then I'm going to take my cow. Again, if you didn't see, there's a button here that you can use to flip. So I'm just going to flip that cow, make him the biggest, and put him on the bottom. Now I'm going to go ahead and check, make sure they're all touching. So you see there is a zoom slider. So I'm going to go in and zoom in, make sure that they're touching appropriately. I could rotate that pig too to make him fit a little bit better. Bring my chicken down. All right, so I'm going to go in and quickly add some text. Now, I am going on to Suede. If I wanted to, I could click on these and make them a dark brown. I'm going to leave them black today because I want to show you how pretty that black is. But we're just going to go into my fonts, and we'll start with the cow, or actually we'll start with the chicken. All right, I'm going to make this white. Now, just as a reminder, the color, when we do this, make sure I have that right. All right. When we do this and put this on there, the white, because we don't have a white ink, is going to be whatever color the material is. So it's going to be that brownish color of the suede. I'm going to remember to hit done. I'm going to go in. I'm going to look specifically for a handwritten font on this. So I'm just going to go to my filter, choose handwritten, find kind of that scripty font that I want to use today. That's gonna be pretty. I'm gonna have to make this a lot smaller for my chicken, but we'll go ahead and do that. Center that up. I'm gonna duplicate it. I could also, if I wanted to, not do a capital letter. I think that would be cute with this too. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. I'm not going to be tied to them being exactly the same size. But because I'm hitting the duplicate button, it would be easy to do that. All right. And one more. Now, I think this would make really great kitchen decor, something that you easily could put on a table runner in a kitchen, something that you definitely could put on placemats too, would be really cool. So it's kind of a little fun design. Can make the moo a little bit bigger so the poor oink doesn't, or the poor cluck doesn't stand out. All right, we'll go ahead and hit print. And we are ready to go. So I'm going to send this over to our print utility. I think I just had an issue with my network connection. Yep. I'm going to go ahead and hit print and send that on over. Now, Rhodes, as this is sending, are there many other questions or statements that have come in?
No, you were all caught up with questions right now.
Awesome. Have I missed anything that you want me to mention?
No, you're doing good so far, doing great.
All right. Okay, so we're opening that in our print utility. I do have my printer set as the default, so it is pulling up to the right printer every time, which is really nice. I actually could make this slightly bigger. So I'm actually going to hit crop to image area. So it's only got the image and not the extra. And then I'm going to go in and make that about 10.5. Yep. And then I'll go ahead and center it. I do love the center button specifically with this. I find that it helps quite a bit. I'm going to go ahead and turn off that adjust for light colors because I know I don't need it on this. And then I'm going to go over to my color management and make that vivid. Now you're going to say, Rhonda, what fabric do you choose for this? I'm actually going to go into my products and I'm going to call this a natural fiber fabric. Now, is it a natural fabric? Well, I know it's not polyester, so we're just going to go with natural. And that works for this. And we're set and ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and hit print. Now I'm not going to pre-press this. I've had good success with this not pre-pressing, so we're not going to worry about that step on this one. And we're going to let that print. Okay, so my print's coming. We're all set and ready to go. Okay, there it is. You see that it is that shiny of the expander on there. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to hover over. Not really a big deal because I may not keep the whole page, but I still like to hover and make sure that's right. Okay. We'll go ahead and let that press. All right. All right, so let's peel that off. Oh, I love it. A little warm. Sorry, dropped it there. All right, this is where you should wear gloves, friends. All right, here you go. Isn't that great? That would be awesome to, like I said, put that on a table runner, put that on a placemat. That would be really great. And I do want you to see that is a very, very solid black. Even going from that CMY, you're getting a really good black on that. So really love this. Just so you know where we got this, this is from a craft store. They sell it as this, which is the leather side, but realize that this back side is a suede that's really easy to use. So yeah, there you go. All right. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna jump back in the design tool. I'm gonna do one more fabric product because I do wanna show you kind of variety today. So far we've done the suede, we've done the blend shirt, and then this is actually a linen cotton blend. It's a placemat, and I found a really cute design in the design tool that I wanted to show you today. So I'm going to go into design. I'm going to keep this kind of in that 8.5 by 11 range. So I'm actually going to go, same thing I did before, I'm going to go those blank sheets. And I'm going to choose the 8.5 by 11 the other direction. Yeah, okay. Okay, so as you know, we do have the design tool. You don't have to use the design tool. As you saw in my first project, it was something that I created in another program and just brought in as a PNG file into the program. You also, of course, can use our Send to Sawgrass print utility to go directly from any program. But if you ever need it, we do have a design tool. It is the My Sawgrass design tool. Within that, you can become a My Sawgrass Plus subscriber. It is $12.95 right now to become a member, which is a really great deal. It's $12.95 per month. And you have access to anything in the program with this diamond icon. So we do add new artwork every single month, never take any away, so it's all there. So you can always come in and use that, and I'm actually going to use one today. So we're going to go down to our country living. I did not sound country at all when I said that. And we're just going to scroll down. So I found this earlier and I really love it. Really good for this particular placemat. I really love, I'm actually going to switch this. I'm going to go back to my products. And I'm going to switch this up. Actually, I'm going to go my custom canvas. It's going to make my life a little bit easier. It's going to delete it and I'll add it back. But I'm just going to make this the size that I want it to be. And I actually can do a 10 by 10 on this. So I'm going to start designing, go back in and pull that up real fast. I'm gonna go in my country living. Okay. And go down to my mason jar. I don't know why I'm in the country mood today, but this really works. Make this just a bit smaller so it fits nicely. Of course, you can customize any of the artwork in this program. I could go in and click on the jar and change the shade or the color. I also can go in and pick up the Miller family and change that to whatever family it may be. So we'll go ahead and do my name on this one. Okay, it's not working for me, but it's okay. It's just going to give me an error message on each of these. I'm probably going to change this font. Let me just take care of getting it out of there, though. Okay. I could just change the font and save myself having to get the error message, but you know, we'll do it the hard way and wait until the end and then fix it. Okay. Just gonna go with a nice font for this. Hit done, and hopefully it worked. All right, so we are all set. We're gonna go ahead and hit print. All right, so Rhodes, any comments or any questions?
No comments. Well, Lori did say the suede would look great as a wall hanger in a farmhouse themed kitchen.
It would, definitely, yeah. Yeah, there's so much you could do with that, and it's just really cute. And it'd be a great housewarming gift. It would be great. You know, one of the things that I love Versaflex for is interior design. So you really can customize and personalize and kind of do it your own. This also, you could do the same thing that we're doing here, where you're adding the family name to the bottom.
That really showed the black capability off. That looks fantastic.
It really does. I love it. All right. Go in, do the same thing. I'm going to make sure and get that nice and centered. I'm guessing on this size-wise. Let's go ahead and center it. I will need the adjust for light colors on this. I know that pink is going to be problematic, and I'm guessing the blue would too. So we're going to make sure that's there. I am going to change this to cotton, but I can do natural fabrics too, because I know it's at least partially linen. So we're going to do that. I'm also on this going to go over and make sure I do my vivid, and I'm set and ready to go. All right. I will pre-press this, get any moisture out. All right. Okay. Okay. That's so cute. I'm going to go ahead and center that. Could have made it a little bit smaller so it would fit that way. I'm going to turn it the other way so it definitely fits. because this could be a hanging or it could be a placemat. I'm gonna do it long ways just so I get a nice pretty result though. Okay, I'm gonna go my 30 seconds. But yeah, again, this even could be used as a tea towel. So you could use it in that method also. All right, come watch me peel this. Again, a nice smooth peel. Oh my gosh, those colors are gorgeous. All right, check this out. Isn't that great? I'm gonna go ahead and do that finishing press on it. But that feels so nice. Okay, again, just holding that down for about 5 seconds just to get that finish press on there. Okay, there you go. I really love that one. All right. Okay, so before I move back over, I'm gonna adjust my press. So I'm gonna do some wood next. I'm gonna call this a luggage tag or a keychain. I think we're just gonna back up on the pressure. So I will show you when we get back over to my computer where you can see the pressures and everything for all of this. That should be good, I believe. I'm gonna make it just a little tighter. Just to make sure. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good medium pressure. Gonna be a little warm. All right, so let me show you really fast. How do I know what pressure I need to use, Rhonda? I'm gonna go to the help menu. Actually, I'm gonna make sure I'm in the print utility. I'm gonna go to the help menu and I wanna open the press guide. Because I have VersaFlex ink in, it's gonna pull up the VersaFlex chart first. But I can actually go to my next page and see my regular sublimation as well, all in one spot. So this is the everything, but that's there and this is there. You can go in and you of course can enlarge this. We always suggest printing a copy and pressing it so you have it in your area. But as you'll see, it's kind of a medium pressure for wood. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and jump in, clean my desk up a little bit. All right. I'm gonna go on to my custom canvas for this particular one. I know that's roughly business card size, so I'm gonna go there. And then in my designs, I'm actually gonna look at travel. This is some designs that we recently added, and I really love them. And I think this will work really well. I adore this for a luggage tag. I think this would make a really great luggage tag, so that's what we're gonna do with this. And we're gonna go ahead and hit print. That's pretty much exactly what I wanted. You, of course, could add a name to the bottom or a phone number, email, or you could always do that on the back. And then I'm just making sure to leave some room at the top because I know there's that little piece. But I think this is great, just the way it is. All right.
Oh, we do have a question while we're waiting for it to go.
Okay.
What size paper does the SG500 take?
All right, so the SG500, the printer behind me is actually an SG1000. The SG500 is going to go up to 8.5 by 14 in the main tray, and then you can add a bypass tray to the back. That's going to still be that 8.5, but you can go custom cut up to 52 inches long. Now with the SG1000 behind me, that is going to be up to 11 by 17 in the main tray, and then that bypass tray will take you up to 13 by 19. Now one of the things that we are bringing up again with you having the two papers, the one for the sublimation and the one for the VersaFlex Light, we are suggesting option trays is something to look at. Next time you see me, there'll probably be an option tray on my printer back here just so you can see what that looks like. But that does allow you to have two trays of paper and you just switch between them here in the system itself. So you would just go in and tell it what tray you want that to come out of. All right, so we're gonna go to our uncoated wood. I'm not gonna center this. I'm gonna leave this kind of to the top. I'm gonna leave my, my light colors on. I'm not gonna center it, I think I'm good. I'm gonna go over here to my color management and choose Vivid, and I'm ready to go. Now I am going to grab the scissors off of the wall because I want to cut this down a little bit. I think that's going to be too much paper for me to work with trying to peel this quickly. So I'm going to cut some of that extra off. Now I do want to leave enough paper that I have an edge to peel with. So one of my sides, I'm going to leave a little bit long, just so I have something to grab onto. And then we'll go ahead and cut this down at the bottom. All right, let's go. Okay, now I know that this is a little weird, but I like to drop it on and then flip it over. I find that to be easier. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I don't feel that it smears. I feel that it works pretty well to do it that way. So that's exactly what we're gonna do today. And we are set. Same time and temperature, the only thing that changed is that pressure. All right, and hopefully that pressure is high enough. I'm gonna grab a glove because this does get very hot. Alrighty. worked perfect. I was a little off. I could have made it a little bit wider to fit better, but that's the only thing. Otherwise, it looks beautiful. There you go. Isn't that great on that wood? You see how you can see that wood grain? That's kind of the beauty of VersaFlex, is it's not a vinyl. It doesn't sit on top. You can see through it. And so you are able to see that, and it looks awesome. So yeah, that would be a great little hanger. I am predicting that we're all making wooden Christmas ornaments this year, and this is kind of the start of that. So you can do a lot with that, which is really great, and that turned out really, really well. And I think I picked up a pack of 6 of these for under $5 at a craft store, so really great project to do. All right, so that's my last project for the day. Before we wrap, does anyone have any questions? Any questions coming in?
Waiting, giving everyone just a minute. If you have any questions, please let us know.
Yeah, so if not, I will be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. To do a live. That one's going to be a little fun. We're actually, so if you looked a few days ago, you may have seen a different title. We're going to put that one on hold for just a little bit. And then we are going to do my top 10 tips for using VersaFlex tomorrow. So unless there's anything new,
I think we're good to go.
We're all set. Thank you for your patience. I know we started a few minutes late. Thank you for your patience as we kind of learn the new system. But it was wonderful with you today, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.